Hello everyone, this is Flight Studios and welcome to part 2 of our NAT crossing with ETOPS 120. A quick recap on what we were trying to do before. It was trying to cross with an A321 from Lisbon to Newark. This is a route that the aircraft is capable on doing. However, it's subject to winds and weather. We might be ending up either not canceling the flight or doing it with a technical landing. Trying to solve this issue that we had before. As a dispatcher, I made the call and I decided after all my checks, and I will explain what I was trying to do. I made the call and I decided to do it with a technical landing in Lima Papa Lima Alpha airport. This one. So, like it's in the Azores. So, before I made this call, I was trying to avoid the weather, and I chose different route coordinates. I went up a little bit even on the northern side of the jet stream, and I tried to do it also on the southern part of the jet stream. Also, I changed altitudes. I checked the altitudes. With Simbrief, it's a little bit time consuming, but I did it anyway. And I was still not being able to do it in one go. So I made up my decision, and I decided to go from Palma to the Azores, land there, do a technical landing for 40 minutes, and then continue on to Newark. Doing so, you have to, as a dispatcher, you need to make sure that you will activate all the necessary procedures at the airport that you are deciding to do the technical landing, like notify the handling agents over there that you are doing so with refueling with passengers on board, so that they will call for the fire brigade to be standby. It depends on the RFFS category of the airport. In some cases, either the fire brigade will be standing by at the behind the airplane, or in other cases they are standing by in the car and waiting for the call if any problems occur. All the slides are armed for the passengers to be ready to disembark, and pretty much this is it. And some other procedures that the crew is following when they have passengers on board. But we're not going to discuss that. A pilot might be able to properly discuss that. And I'm not a pilot, I'm not a cabin crew member, so I'm not going to go dig into that procedure. So I planned my route, and I will show you here. I planned my route accordingly. This is the second part, which is the most important one. What I noticed while I was planning from Lisbon to Lima Papa, Lima Alpha, sorry, was that I couldn't apply the ETOPS 120 rules. That's something that is lagging in Simbrief, which we had in comparison with PFPX. We could do that in PFPX. You should be able, either the flight is ETOPS or not, you should be able to apply those rules, because right now, even in the organization that I'm currently working for, we are doing we are going for the certification for ETOPS 120, and we plan every flight, even if it's an hour or less than an hour sectors. We always planning ETOPS because you need to present to the authorities, as I discussed before, that you are following the procedures for ETOPS 120, and you need to do so for at least 6 months and present the documentation, and also, as we discussed, the maintenance procedures that they need to be in place, and documentation. I couldn't do that. I was keep on having that message that the it's not ETOPS route. So yeah, so I skipped it, and this is my OFP. I'm not gonna go through. It's a really simple flight plan going from A to B. No ETOPS here, but I would love to have that function. Like I will put the airports that I want to use the ETOPS because you get extra fuel also for that, and follow properly the procedures. Let's assume that we have ETOPS with this aircraft, no problems there. So this is the first route, and what I did, I tanker the aircraft. Obviously, when you are in the base, the fuel is cheaper. When you are off base, you have different fuel prices. So what I did, knowing that I'm gonna get extra fuel from the tech landing airport, I tanker my flight. I put as my the maximum fuel that I could take for this route with this load that I had. So I tanker 4,395 here as per calculations. I put a different number there, but yeah, that's it. Because I wanted to avoid when tankering, sorry, when tankering, you need to remember something, guys. It's really easy to get overweighted. So a good rule of thumb is when you're tankering, you make sure that your fuel on board will be at least 200 or maybe even 300 uh, kilos or 600 pounds or whatever the case, less, so that you will have this margin on the landing weight, because when we are actually flying the route, the aircrafts uh, having the ability to save a bit of fuel, and these neos are saving fuel with the Pratt and Whitney engines that they have on board. So this is not the case with our specific aircraft. We have the CFM LEAP on board, but let's assume that I tried to put less fuel. However, the aircraft was keep on calculating more. If you go with a max landing, when you are actually going to land, you will see that you're gonna have more fuel. So you're gonna have either perform overweighted landing, and then you will go over a certain checklist, and or you're gonna have to burn the fuel before you land. So either you're gonna make a holding or a 360 or whatever the case, or you're gonna have the landing gear extended or be configured way back in order to burn the fuel and be on the within the limits of the landing weight. So be careful when you're planning tankering or maximum fuel, not to exceed or not to be close with that. Just give the margin to the aircraft of 2 or 3, even 300 kilos of fuel. So our departure from Lisbon was set at 1700 Zulu, and we are expected to be there at 1942 chocks on. And from then on, I calculated 40 minutes roughly for our refueling, and I set the next departure. As we will see here, our next departure was set for 2025, and we are having an expected arrival at 2034. Um, so let's come to the ETOPS calculations here right now. We departed from Lisbon with 213 passengers. 213 passengers we had also on the second leg, and we planned our fuel accordingly. I didn't change the plan here. I let the Simbrief get the route as optimum, and I left it for the optimum flight level because I knew that we're not gonna have any issues now. So I left it as it is, and we got our flight plan. It's uh, it's good for me. Um, no issues there. We're gonna get that clearance for sure. ATC flight plan. This is it. So let's go through our briefing here. So you go now and check that you have, sorry, this one. You have the correct departure. Okay, 2025. It's chocks off. You have your cost index, and then step climbs, which is only you don't have one. You we planned it, the whole route to a 320. Now the crew will also have the ability to request a higher altitude if the weather changes, or if we monitor the flight, do the proper flight watch and check and keep on checking the weather, then we can re-optimize the flight plan and re-clear our aircraft to a higher or even lower altitude. It depends where the optimum flight level will be at that very instant. Our trip fuel is 14,100, let's 89 kilos, 4 hours and 41 minutes. Contingency fuel, I have reduced it to 3%. It's the fuel that with an en route alternate calculated. ETOPS and ETP here. I don't know why it's not showing any, but I don't know how Simbrief is working, but I know that it calculated ETOPS fuel also. And I added 700 kilos more for weather avoidance, or even if they don't have the weather, I gave them that 700 kilos if the the crew wants to decides to uh, keep a higher cost index or a higher speed to minimize delay due to the strong headwinds, then they have a margin. I put due to weather 700 kilos over there. So we are concluding and on 18601 with 200 kilos of standard taxi for the A320 20 family. And here is the final reserves, 3086. I'm pretty happy. I'm more likely we're gonna land with at least 200 or maybe even 300 more. Whoever flies that route, please be my guest and comment below how much fuel you have left after the trip. This is our alternate. It's actually I wanted to use Boston, but I left it as it is. You can further minimize the fuel to if you want to just to be fuel efficient and choose a different alternate. But yeah, you can re-optimize the flight plan accordingly. These are our timings as we already discussed. We are expected to be there 22:40 local. That's a good time to arrive there. This is our 213 passengers and cargo. I could have dropped the entire cargo, but I left a good amount of weight in there because I think that within the Simbrief, cargo is extra cargo, is not the baggage. This is my understanding. So at the beginning, I thought that okay, I have 213 passengers, and no, it didn't make any sense on my calculations. But okay, we put some 5,300 kilos of cargo. If you are a charterer, you don't need to have this non-scheduled charter flight. You might not have this 5,000 kilos of cargo. You can skip it. So less fuel, higher altitude if any, but this is a good amount of payload and zero fuel, close to max. And max fuel 21.1 for this aircraft. That is why I know that we can go across and position extra, meaning that we have an extra 2.6, 2,600 kilos of extra fuel that we can take if so needed before departure. Oceanic clearance, and let's see, ETOPS. Basically, here ETOPS 120 minutes away. My airport of choice obviously is Lima Papa Lima Alpha, and there is another one here, Charlie Yankee Tango. What the problem was here, I planned it a little bit different, but I put it in the wrong. I also planned Halifax, which had a better weather. That was my first choice, and that was as a second choice. But I think that when I was putting them in the correct boxes, I put it incorrectly in the boxes within Simbrief. Let's edit that and see where I was wrong. Let's recalculate that. Let's use this one. It's a Pratt and Whitney long range. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So let's use this one and recalculate everything. I put here the 200 standard taxi. I didn't put the 700 for extra for weather. Alternates. It's standard. It says here it's London. Let's change that to Boston just to see how is the situation. Okay, this is Boston. Boston. Analyze. Yeah, there are different routes that you can choose from. In route alternate, I have Halifax, but this is for the ERA, but it's going to be also my ETOPS. So here I put one, two, and then I had a third one here. So what I'm gonna try to do here, I want to see how this will work out. So I'm gonna put Charlie, how was that? Yankee Yankee Tango, if I'm not mistaken. Let me cross check it. Charlie Yankee Yankee Tango, yes. And then validate one of these airports exceeds. So most likely our airport that is exceeded Halifax. Let's cross check it. I don't think that it's the case. Yeah, okay, it was the other one. So you see, put it was Halifax. Charlie Yankee, Charlie Yankee Hotel Zulu. This is something that I don't understand. Sorry for that. With Simbrief, how it's being done. So I will put it again. So yes, Halifax, it's a longer route. However, I don't think that this is the case. This is Halifax. This is Goose Bay. sorry, St. John's. So Halifax is here. So if it's here, I think that it's almost at this point. In real life, I think that I might be able to pull it through 60. Okay, so let's leave it like that. We will have that as an alternate. We know that we can go to Halifax if we have, because the weather is not that great over there. So let's leave it like that and regenerate that just to make sure that we have the same fuel. And we're pretty much now we have issues by 600 initial flight level 3. Okay, this is another issue that came through right now. I don't know what we did with no cargo. All of a sudden now we have issues, and I think it has to do with the aircraft. Maybe the aircraft performance and profile is not that great. Let me check the briefing. Um, okay, so yeah, I will change the aircraft. Maybe this aircraft is not really, if it's even if it says here long range, maybe it's the aircraft profile. Let's leave it with this one. Cost index 10. I put 200 here, 700 there. I mean, these are some of the things that I don't understand with Simbrief. I know what I want to do when the system is not doing it. I wanted the system to be able and do whatever I want it to do, even if it's wrong, even if I get warnings like fuel needed, blah blah blah, whatever. I need to be able to do it, but it's not helping me here at all. Let's regenerate that and hopefully it will resolve the issue. That will be the aircraft problem. And with the weights, I don't know the file that it's been used. No, now we have an issue with the aircraft. All of the sudden right now we have issues. I don't understand this right now. There is a problem with the flight plan and it started heavier and it makes no sense to me at this stage because right now you see here I properly calculated it like 20 minutes ago and everything was super fine even with an extra cargo and everything. Let's not stick with that. I think that this might be an issue with Simbrief, but I'm not 100%. You see here we don't have the cargo, it throw it out. We don't have the cargo, we get maximum fuel 18 tons. I don't know why. Really, I don't know why. And I might have it's stuck with that thing again. Okay, let's put it in the default sec. So it might be the case that those two profiles that I chose, they're not correct. Okay, 700 yeah, payload freight put 0 and 0 to 200 initial altitude. ETOPS, we have that. Let's regenerate that flight plan. Maybe it's the profile of the aircraft, and I'm fighting the profile right now because as you can see here, I have different maximum numbers. And yes, is the profile. And again, it took the cargo. Even if I put 0, it took the cargo. So it is the aircraft. So most likely with this default aircraft, default profile, I might be able and do the crossing, but it's not the case. I don't know what is happening with the profiles, but um, for me it's okay even with that one. With this scenario that I made up my mind, and let's view the PDF, the final one. That will be edition 3 of this is the edition 3, the third flight plan that we release. This is the aircraft 320, yes, 700, yes, 18. We have a bit less fuel here from the previous one, and that is because we changed the alternate. We get almost 300 pounds because we changed the alternate. So final reserves and alternate 2.8 from 3 almost 3.1, and times and cargo. I need to check again Simbrief that this cargo can be removed and have only the passengers because we are a non-scheduled flight. And let's go to the ETOPS section and check it out. So Lima Papa Lima Alpha, the problem here is the analysis of the ETOPS is not the one that I was expecting. And in comparison with the PFPX, you get the three scenarios. With PFPX, you get the scenarios that we discussed in part 1 of this section. You have engine failure in, decompression, and engine failure and decompression. Those are the three scenarios that you are working with. This is not 100% correct, but it is what it is, and we'll have to go with that. So basically now you know that when you're planning ETOPS, your calculations are not 100% sure. Correct. Simbrief needs to improve that ETOPS section facility, that they module that they have here. I would be happy to pay a subscription if they put all these things in there, and even if you have the ability, to calculate multiple routes on the same OFP instead of going in and out and choosing what you want to do. Uh, but I don't have that they don't have the flexibility. We don't have it here. We go with this one, and I'm showing you all these file plans through Simbrief because it's the most popular one in the community, and I wanted you guys to know how you can do um, how you can flight plan in accordance with real world procedures and processes. This is what I, as an aircraft dispatcher, will do in real life if I had this case presented to me. This is what I will come up through, and obviously you have to calculate the flight time limitations for the crew. If they are exceeding 10 hours, you need to have an augmented crew, a third crew on board, and then but it's not the case with this one. If we go here and check our oops, so you need to make sure your block time, you have 6 hours and 10 minutes, and your other flight plan is another 2 hours. You will be roughly let's say all in all 10 hours, below 10 hours, so you're good to go with two pilots, and you need to have crew in Newark waiting to take the flight back. So Yeah, we're good to go with that one. If you are going to exceed, even with the ground time, 1 hour, we are good to go. And in this case, because we can plan it also with an extended flight time, FDP, because because of the extra ground time due to the refueling technical landing. So guys, concluding, this is it. This is how we managed to do our flight plan. Final unload, final picture. Let's load import from Simbrief. Let's load the latest, this one, just to have an idea what we did. Yeah, this is the most significant part of our two-sector route to Newark with ETOPS, and you can go ahead and do the weather also. You can check also weather conditions. This is the radar, obviously. Some weather is expected there. Sorry, let's go through it. Let's do the turbulence. I'm expecting turbulence here. Here, yeah, okay, we are going to have some turbulence over there. Icing, yes, icing also. This is 220. We're gonna be at 320 though. Let's put 300. It's clear. 34, clear. We're good to go. Uh, Cloud coverage at 340 and 300. Yes, this is the avoidance that we might need to do. Extra fuel were needed. Um, Tropopause, yeah, we can check that also. Yeah, we know the jet stream is going up and down here, so we know that in the breaks of the tropopause we have the existence of the jet stream. And convected high visibility jet streams. Let's see the jet stream. You see, this is the jet stream. This is the second one. This is the one that is causing us problem. Also this one. And lastly, let's see the wind bars. Wind bars 300. Wind is okay. And 3-4. I think it's okay. Our flight is okay. This is at the time of the departure. Let's check it out around around here. Okay, I think that we are okay, and that, guys, concludes our second part of our ETOPS crossing with 120 minutes away of a suitable airport. Please leave a comment if you like that video. If you want more explanations, I will happily uh, do so. I will reply to all your messages, and please follow and subscribe if you like the content, and let me know if you want a specific topic to be explained on how to properly navigate the skies with Simbrief, using Simbrief, and how to follow real world procedures and implementing them into our flight plans, and obviously following them to our virtual skies. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, have a nice one.